friends, I am Payal, your study abroad expert. Now this is a continuation video on the sample questions that you should prepare for while you're going for your visa interview. So as you all know, this visa interview process is the last hurdle for you to get your visa and fulfill your study abroad dreams. Do not take it casually and prepare well for it. So we had discussed about 4 sample questions in the previous video. We're going to discuss some more important questions which would be really helpful to you. So let's talk about the fifth important question that could be asked in your visa interview, which is, what does your father and mother do? So if you've answered that your parents are sponsoring you, like your father or mother are sponsoring you, then you will have to probably answer questions on what do they do. So you should know the nature of work, their specific role, you should answer it correctly. So the main purpose of asking this question is to verify the financial capability of your sponsor, whether he's able to fund your education or not, because that's a very important thing. Because any country doesn't want a liability. They want that you should have the funds to finish your education in that country. So you should give very crisp answer. You should have a good idea on what your parents do, what their income source is. For example, you could say that my mother is a senior professor in Hyderabad University and she teaches law. Or you could say my father is a senior manager at SBI Bank. Or if you are taking it from your sibling, my brother is working as a team lead in in an IT company, IBM, for example. Now, there are few people who would be taking help from their parents, where probably the father is a farmer, and if they ask you what does your father do and you say he's a farmer, there are very high chances of rejection. So you have to articulate your answers. You could tweak your answer. Instead of saying that my father is a farmer, you could always say that my father is in agriculture industry, so he's dealing with agricultural products. You could probably tweak your answer a little bit so that it doesn't give an impression to the interviewer that your father will not be able to fund your education. At the same time, so a lot of people would say that my father has a shop, he has a fruit shop. So that gives a little bit negative impression. You could probably just tweak the answer and say my father is in service industry and he's into retail of grocery items. So that looks a little bit more professional and would reduce your chances of rejection. So the same thing can be put forward in a different way, and that would increase your chances of success. Now the next important question that you could be asked is, what is your father, mother, or the sponsor's income? So you should have those figures in place. You should know about that. The purpose of this question is for the examiner to understand that they have a steady source of income and their income is stable. It's not like a one-time income. And a lot of people, what they do is they take the money, they borrow the money, and they just put it in the bank. So that is why they want to see your income tax returns. They they want to make sure that they have regular inflow of funds to sponsor your education. So you should know all the figures. You should have it in your mind and you should have it on your fingers, fingertips, where you should know all the figures of what is the income of the sponsor as per the IT returns filed and as per the financial documents that you have submitted. So the next question is, how many brothers, sisters do you have? So the purpose of this question is that the examiner wants to know that, do your parents, if they're sponsoring your education, do they have any more liabilities? Would they be able to fund your education till the end, or they have other responsibilities as well? So, but anyways, you should give honest answers because they have all the records in place. So we do not have to bluff anywhere. So the next important question, which really decides whether you would get the visa or not, is do you have any relatives in USA? If you have your brothers and sisters in USA, then you should honestly tell them, because if you try to lie, they will be able to get hold of it because everything is there in place. All the information would be easily available. But if you have your uncle, aunts, or you have distant relatives, please do not mention that. So I'm repeating this point. Please do not mention if you have your distant relatives in USA, because then they would think that your purpose is to get settled there and be with them, and that would reduce your chances of success. So you should always talk about your immediate relatives. And sometimes what happens is that if any of your distant relatives, they've been overstaying their legally permitted period in USA, then it is not favorably considered, and that might hamper your chances of success of getting visa as well. So do not take that risk at all. Now, the next important question that you would be asked is, why don't you want to do this course in your country? So you should have, you should have all your answers in place. You should know what kind of infrastructure and what kind of facilities are being provided in the university where you're going to. You could always talk about the points as the quality of education in USA is better, the infrastructure is better. You could talk about some faculty profiles, and you could probably talk about some research facilities that the university that you're going to have. So talk about few pieces of research which are being conducted in that field in that university by any professor that would add a lot of value. And if you think that particular course that you're going for is not offered in India, then it's very easy to answer. You can easily say that that particular course is not available in India, and that's one reason why you're going there. So remember, the purpose of answering this question is to convince the visa officer that the place that you're going to is the best place for you and you don't have any alternate options and you're really excited and keen to go there. Now, they might just, try to gather some more information about how much do you know about the university and, and the professors in that university where you're going to. So they might ask you that, do you know anything about the professors in that university? Which city is this, is the school located? And if you know any professors, what are their names? So you should probably do your research in advance. Try to read about some famous professors. If they have got any acknowledgements, awards, or they've done any researches, that would really add on to, your entire, profile. And that would help the interviewer get convinced that you have done a lot of homework because you're really keen on this university. So that would give a positive impression. If he gets the hint that you want to settle in USA, irrespective of the university and the course that you study, then he will never give you a visa, and that would really hamper your chances. So focus a lot on highlighting on the good things that you find about your university. So the next important question that you would ask is, why study in the USA? So there you should talk about the excellent quality of education, good infrastructure, the teaching methodologies, and the research facilities that the universities in USA offer. The most important question that he would ask is, what are you going to do after finishing your education, whether it's UG, PG, or MBA? So tell me how you can prove to me that you will come back. So then in that case, you should talk about all the good career opportunities that you have in your home country with respect to the course that you're studying. And if you were working before going for your higher study, then you should always mention that your company is ready to take you back in the same company, or maybe at a better position, and the education that you're taking out there is enhancing or honing your abilities, and is giving you a lot of knowledge that would help you get a brilliant opportunity in your home country. So you have to really convince him. That's one of the important points that he's looking for. So the next question that he would ask is, have you got any scholarship, and why has the university granted you that scholarship? So if you've got any scholarship, you should talk about it. And if you've applied for any scholarship, just let them know if you've applied for any financial aid or scholarship. And in that case, you should also carry your statement of purpose, which you've submitted to the university with you, so that through that they can understand the reason and how you are going to get the scholarship. And so as I said, it's all about convincing them that yes, I have the funds, I can go and study, and I will definitely come back. This is the key summary of the entire thing. Now, the few more questions that you need to take care of and answer correctly is that, have you taken loan, and where have you taken loan from, and how do you plan to repay the loan? So you should have all the information ready on how much loan you've taken, where have you taken, at what percentage, and how do you plan to repay. So in that case, you could always say that you'll get a good job in your home country, or as I just mentioned before, that if you are planning to rejoin your company where you were working before your education, you just mentioned that from the income that you get, you are planning to repay the loan. And lastly, the most important question, last but not the least, is what do you want to do in your holidays and vacations? So if you say that in my holidays or vacations, I plan to stay there and do part-time jobs because I don't have money to fund my education, you will never get your visa. So I'm repeating again, never say that I will plan to stay in USA to do the part-time jobs to fund my education. You should always say that in my holidays or vacations, I'll come back to my home country, I'll visit my family and friends, and you should not give them any hint on that you're going to work there part time or you are probably going to settle there. So do not make them feel that you are looking for employment. Just make them feel that you're going to study there, you have all the funds, and in your holidays you will come back and visit your family because you really love your family and you love your country. So talk all good things about that, and yes, they would believe you, and there is no way that you cannot get the visa if you answer all the questions accurately and precisely. So they might ask you a few questions about your academic percentage, about your siblings, their education, their profile, etc. So be prepared with all the information. And they might sometimes also ask you that have you been to USA before? So if you've been there, you can always talk about that you like the country, you've been there as a tourist. And if you've not been there, so do not mention that you don't want to go to the country. You should say that you never got a chance, so that they feel that if you're not able to go there for study, you'll definitely go there as a tourist. And one more question before I log out is they might ask you, why should we give you the student visa? So all the answers that we've already given in the previous questions are going to be summarized to answer this question, that quality of education, infrastructure, probably you could talk about tailor-made courses which are not available in your country, and a lot of good things about the course and the university, not the country. And that's one of the reasons why you really want to study there, and that would enhance your profile, that will give you a lot of knowledge, and that will make you a more confident and knowledgeable individual for a better future ahead. And that would help you convince the officer that you should be given the student visa because you really want to do this course. So I hope these videos were useful and you got a lot of information on how you should answer your questions for the visa interview. So subscribe to us. We're going to come out with a lot of new information. And as I just mentioned in the last video, based on your comments, we do try to take up new topics. So feel free to leave the comments in the comment section, and like and share this video with your friends, and do not forget, subscribe us today only. Thank you.